Using Procreate Dreams, I made this bee animation in 2 different video formats for social media. So sit back, relax. I'm going to walk you through my entire process from start to finish. So before I jump into the video, I'm just showing my work here of me drawing the bee and the flower to show that it is my work and this is what I did. So I'm going to go into my add in the little settings here. I'm going to insert a photograph of the last thing I painted. The little magic wand icon here and hit Gaussian blur and just fade that into the background. So now I'm going to open up Procreate Dreams and I'm going to show you how I add this. So what I do is I put the apps side by side, open up the layers in Procreate into Procreate Dreams just by pressing and dragging it over. I'm going to hit the edge here and then just extend it over. So I want to make a couple files of this, but first I'm going to do the animation and then we're going to go and make different sizes of the same file so I can make it for different social medias. Alright, I'm cutting in from the future here because my footage on the onion skin part did not go very well. But anyway, I was trying to show y'all how I did this. The way I decided to do this bumblebee to physically move the frames up and down. So you want to hit the timestamp to get the onion skins. When you're in stage mode like this, you don't see it right away. Usually you do if you're in drawing mode like this. And now you'll be able to see it in here. And just like you would typically go into edit, you can see backwards and forwards. You can set how many frames you want to see, and then also change the color as well as the opacity of that color. So it starts here, and then I moved it down by 1, and then 2, and this third frame. This is going to be the lowest one, so I wanted to move it up, and to help me visualize that on the final frame, I copied the first frame, and then I pasted it right behind, and now I can see both of them, and this helped me position this. So I just tapped it and I moved it, and now it's right in between, so it goes and it just looks nice and smooth. So now that we've got my group set up here, I'm gonna go on and use the record feature because I like doing that a lot. All right, so I'm gonna get this size right, make sure it's looking proportional. I think that looks pretty good for a bumblebee. All right, and you can see you got a lot of range here. So you can go, and you can even go in reverse if you want to get real crazy, upside down mode. But I think, that's a pretty decent size. If you are so inclined, we've got this little movie icon. That's what I call it. I don't know what this is technically called. It's like that little thing that they slap with the numbers on it. You've got the opacity, you got the Gaussian blur, as they call it, and the HSB that I like to use a lot, and you can just go crazy with these colors, get funky with it. And I do be getting funky with it on occasion with the HSB. I'm gonna take my bumblebee, I'm gonna make sure it's selected, and I'm just gonna drag it right off the screen. And it might be easier to do this frame by frame, but I'm gonna try to do it with the record feature just to see what it looks like. And I'm gonna go a little bit farther out just because I know I want to do this in other canvases. So I want to make sure that it fits all of those. I'm going to reposition this flower just to make sure it fits the square frame. And if you're going to record something using the record feature here, you want to make sure that you're at the point in your timeline that you want to start recording. So if you are in the middle, for example, and you start recording, it's going to start from the middle, not from the beginning. Pay attention to that because it's very intentional, which gives you control, but sometimes you may get caught up in the moment, and that might confuse some people, because I know it confused me. Now that the bumblebee is ready to record, we're at the beginning, I am going to simply drag it onto the canvas. And then hold it, and then we're just going to play that back to make sure it looks good. I think I want to go back to 12. Sometimes I go back and forth on the FPS. It just depends on what looks best, honestly. Yeah, I think 10 was better. Let me try 8 just to give it you know, a good old shot here just to see. It's looking a bit choppy, so I'm gonna go back to 10. I gotta decide what's gonna happen next. I didn't think this far. Also, I've just realized this. I've just realized that the bumblebee's little stinger has absolutely no color. It's just void. Shit. What do I do? The only way to fix this, actually I can do this real quick. So what we'll do is we'll go into the timeline. I'm gonna go into my group and I'm gonna add a track, and then I'm gonna put it in drawing mode. I'm gonna select black. I'm just gonna use it real quick. Then I'm gonna drag it below the bumblebee. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, so there's some buoyancy issues here. We've got some turbulence on the airplane. Damn it. Why? I thought my brain was just doing so good, and then it was like, aha, nope. Shit. This is frustrating. Alright, hold on. I don't feel like it should just fit, but it's not fitting. I'm gonna just not have the black in there. How about that? It's just not the day for those kinds of problems. Alright, anyway, we're good. I think this is a specific species of bee that has a translucent stinger. It's not going to be there long anyway, so it don't matter. Alright, so it's on the screen. We're here. And if you don't like how this went on your recording, what you can do is these keyframes are down here. So you can click on them, you can move them about however you want. If you want to change the specificity, you can go into your X and Y axis here and you can change the numbers. You can shorten, you can lengthen, you know, you can move them around however you want to. If you want to get crazy, you could take one from the middle, you can move it all the way out, and then you could see what God has in store for you now. Yeah, but you can move them all over the place. Just be wary if, you know, you've got a lot of movements going on here. So for example, so let's say you're watching this back and you're like, I don't hate it, I just want something else. At this point, you know, going into the middle using the record features, it doesn't really work that well because it moves so quickly. The best way around this is to just add it to what's already been recorded. So if you're on the actual frame itself or the group itself, it won't let you move it. It's just going to go right back to where it was. The way around that is to select the keyframe timeline, and then anywhere in here you can move it, and then it's going to add that as a keyframe. So now it would dip down and back up. I'm not going to keep that in, but that just gives you an idea of what you can do. And, you know, be wary of that if you have a lot of movement. So if let's put that back, and this is where I wanted it to dip. If I move this to the end, which I could, what it'll do is it'll go and move that frame to the end. So it's easy to get confused with the keyframes because they're not easily labeled. They just look like this, and they've got these random numbers. So don't get lost in the keyframes. Just keep track of them. All right, so this is very simple. I like simple. I want to have the bee continue forward. So I'm going to go in here, make sure I'm on the keyframes, and I'm just going to go down. And I want it to be a little bit closer to the flowers, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have that selected keyframe that I just made by moving it the first time, and now I can just move it again, and it'll stay on that keyframe. If you want to add another one, you would just do the same thing next to it, and then it would continue. So this will add it closer to the center of the flower. Now, I don't know what bees do technically. It looks like they're just washing their face with pollen, but I'm gonna give it a smooch. You can't draw in a group on the top layer. If you want to draw inside of it, you got to go to a track within it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a track above and go here to where it gets close. All right, I know why I was having the issue with the stinger earlier. It's because these are actually still grouped. I thought I had them all as individual frames, but since they're still grouped, it's complicated things. So this is what I'll do. I'll go to the beginning of this group here, and then I will just cover the mouth of each frame at a time. There's only 4 of them, so I'll do this, go to the next one, and just be careful of the outline as I do this. Now this is a result of me not thinking in advance. This is usually why I don't record myself live, but this just also goes to show you, you know, the creative process is not always perfect. I will select all, I will group, and then I'll just duplicate this so that I've got it over these frames. Alright, that should be enough of that. Now I'm going to go back to my top frame here and hit the squiggly line, go to the black and my pen, and we're going to draw the mouth again. So I want to see the mouth just so I know that I'm putting the mouth in the right place, but since it is on a different track, I can't see the previous frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the group I just made with the yellow, and I'm going to go to filter, and I'm going to lower the opacity just so I can see where the mouth is, just for this one frame, so I know that my placement is right. And just like really flat lip smooch. I don't know how I don't know how many times I want to do this. We'll repeat it a couple of times just to see what it looks like, but it'll get weird if we do too many. I'm gonna put my opacity back off. Take 4 fingers, tap the screen, and you're in full screen, and you got your play options down here. 3 kisses for good luck. Yeah, sure. All right, that's fine. Delete, delete, and I'm gonna fill these in to make them official. All right, so he gives the flower a couple smoochies. That's fun. We like a good smooch. We're gonna split that. So if you want to split, all you gotta do is hit the movie icon, hit edit, hit split, and you got the split right there. I'm gonna delete the excess because I don't need it anymore. All right, now that we got our smooch in, I'm just gonna record the off screen. So we'll go to the top of our group again, have it float for about a second, and then we'll go up and off. All right, let's see what it looks like. There it is. Hey flower, smooch, 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 and then flies away. Now, I do have an issue with how slow it feels. It does feel very slow. And you know, these are all the same, actually. So what I could do is I could delete all of these because I just want it to fly onto the screen directly. So from point A to point B would just be one straight fly in. I'm gonna get rid of these excess frames here. Now, a way to modify this better is when you're recording, if you hit the record icon, you can go to modify and you can put it on whatever filter you want, so 0 to 100%. If you went on 100%, it would only do the first and last one. I always have it on 0 because I want control, and then I can go in here and customize how I want to. That's important to me, but it may not be as important to other people. It just depends on the artist, so whatever your preferences are. All right, I think that's good. So now that it's off the screen, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of my group, make everything bigger by just, pinching and then zooming up. And I'm gonna delete the excess here. So we'll just tap here, we'll hit edit and split, and then delete. I'm gonna hit the title, go into properties here, and then select the time or duration. I'm at 1 minute, so I'm gonna 0 that out and then leave it at 12 seconds. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the format of this. So if I want this in different canvas sizes, you could just export the video and upload it to a new canvas size, but that would affect the background. So I'm gonna go into the main screen by clicking on the little squares here. I'm gonna hit select, And then I'm going to tap on the B canvas, and I'm going to hit duplicate, and I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to go into one of these, hit on the title, which in this case is now Dream 9, and then you can see here you have width and height. This is your canvas size, which is a square. So I want to do this for phone format, which means the width is fine, but the height needs to be 1920. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to type in 1920, hit done, and that's going to change my orientation. Now, because of the orientation, I've got some adjustments that I need to make. So I'm going to move my flower down. I'm also going to make it a bit bigger so it's more engaged with this screen size. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this forward before the smooch. And I'm actually going to move this original keyframe back to here. That way it goes to the core of the flower. And now that we're here, we can do lace smooch. So this is going to be my phone version. And then for the YouTube video, I'm going to go back to the title and I'm going to click on Dream 10. Now this one should be rather straightforward. I'll go to Dream and instead of changing the height, I'm going to change the width to 1920. Hit done. And now we're full screen. So we'll see how this bee looks. Flies onto the screen and then flies off. So now I want to export it. So I'm going to hit the title. I'm going to go to share and then custom settings. I'm going to hit rescale. This is going to let you choose what quality you want it. So I'm going to do 1080p, and then file container, I'm going to switch that to MP4 just so it's standard. And then I'm going to export it and then save video. All right, so now we've got the animation and we're ready to go into the editing phase, which I'm going to do off camera, but this was just the how I made this animation part. If you're interested in more of the editing aspect and how I get the sounds and stuff, let me know and I can do a separate video showing that process. But I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, or if you just enjoyed watching the video, go on and give the video a like. If you like the channel, subscribe. Stay real, y'all. The world is worlding. I know, every day, a new day, same shit, but get it done. All right, whatever you got, whatever it is, get it done. You got it. Stay beautiful, stay true, and above all else, stay cozy. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.